It's Sarah, and it's time for step 3 in our crochet along. Now, step 1 was the supply list, and you can find that link right up there. Just click that link, and it'll take you to video number 1 or video step 1 for the supply list and instructions. Step 2 was the top of our coffee cup, and you can find that at that next link. You can also find those two and the whole thing when we're finished in the link underneath this video that goes straight to my blog. Each day I'm adding the new section onto the blog so that you can eventually always have it all together on the blog. You can also save that in your Ravelry favorites, and then you'll never lose it, and it'll always be together, because you may not have time right now to do this, but you might want to do it later because it's a great Christmas gift. Well, today is step 3, and we're going to be making the top rim and then the sides of our coffee cup. So here is the top of my coffee cup pillow, and I'm going to be doing the sides of my cup in this Karen Chunky Cakes. Now, I've chosen to make mine chunky number 6, and I used 2 strands of worsted weight number 4 for the brown portion of my coffee. Now, I normally make this a lot darker, but you cannot see the dark brown, and so I went with a little bit lighter brown, so I'm calling it a cappuccino today. I'm still using my 9mm crochet hook, and then we're going to just get started. Now remember, continue with the yarn and the hook that you started with on your project. All right, the first thing we need to do is just join our yarn to anywhere around. It doesn't matter where. And we're going to be stitching in the front loops for this row. Now, if you look on the top of your stitches, you'll see that there is a loop on this side and a loop on this side. The loop that's facing me is my front loop. The loop that's away from me is my back loop. And for this row, we're going to be stitching in the front loop only. So I'm just going to go through the front loop. I'm going to grab my new yarn, leave myself a little bit of a tail to weave that in, and go ahead and just chain 1. All right, now this next row, we're going to be placing 1 single crochet in each single crochet around, only working in the front loop. This is going to be the edge or the rim of our coffee cup. So I'm going to go just in that front loop and stitch a single crochet of that next stitch. And I'll do this all the way around this row. Now, we're not going to be increasing any more stitches, and so I ended with 60 double crochets, and so I'll have 60 single crochets on this row. And you'll see that this sort of stands up, and that makes the edge of the rim of our coffee cup. So for row 7, we're stitching 1 single crochet in each of the double crochets, working in the front loops only. We'll do this all the way around, and then we'll join back to that first single crochet. I've worked 1 single crochet in each stitch around, working in the front loops only, and you can see that it sort of naturally comes in, and that's exactly what we want it to do. All right, so I'm going to join to the first single crochet, not the chain 1, but the single crochet, and I'm going to go ahead and go through both those loops and join with the slip stitch, and then we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come down here to the back loop and join with a slip stitch. And that just gives us a little bit of a braid there. And this is because on this next row, we're going to be working in the back loops on row 6, because on row 7, we worked in the front loops. So row 8, we're working in the back loops. All right, so we're going to chain 3. We've already chained 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to place 1 double crochet in each of those back loops. So we'll go right in the back loop and stitch a double crochet. And we'll do this all the way around. 1 double crochet in each of the double crochets from row 6, working in the back loops only. Let me do a few more so I can show you how it looks. There we go. All right, I pull a loop so it doesn't come out. This is how this is going to look. This is the top of your coffee cup where the rim or the brim is. And now we're going to start stitching around to form the body of our coffee cup. So just to make sure you understand, for row 8, we're stitching 1 double crochet in each of the double crochets from row 6, stitching in the back loops only. And we're only going to be doing this for this row. Stitching in the back loops, I mean, only this row. After this row, we'll be stitching double crochets through both loops. All right, so we're just going to stitch this all the way around, and then we'll join back to that first chain 3. So I've completed stitching 1 double crochet in each back loop of row 6 around. Because see, it's a little confusing, but just so that you understand, this is row 6. We stitched row 7 in the front loops of row 6, and then we stitched row 8 in the back loops of row 6. Just to make sure you understand. All right, we're going to join to the top of that chain 3 with a slip stitch and chain 3. Now, at this point, normally you continue on around, but I want you to turn your work so that we're working on this side for the remainder of the project, okay? So we did a chain 3 and we turned. Our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. And for row 9, we're going to stitch 1 double crochet in each double crochet around, going through both those loops like we normally do. Stitch 1 double crochet in each double crochet. Now, you still should only have 60 double crochets. We didn't do any increasing, and so we're going to have 60 double crochets around. 1 double crochet in each double crochet around. And then again, when we get back around, we'll join to the top of our chain 3. I stitched that row of double crochets. I'm going to join to the top of the chain 3 with a slip stitch and chain 3. And what you're going to do for the next 5 rows is repeat this row. 1 double crochet in each double crochet around, join to the chain 3 and chain 3. And you'll repeat this for 5 more rows. Rows 10 through 14. 1 double crochet in each double crochet around, joining to the top of our chain 3 and repeat for 5 more rows. Here's our single crochet which is the trim or the rim of our coffee cup. And then that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, row 14. Now, for row 15, we're going to stitch it exactly the same. The only difference is at the end, we're only going to chain 1. We'll do our join and then chain 1. So let's go ahead and stitch row 15, stitching 1 double crochet in each double crochet around, just like we have on the previous rows. And then after we join to the top of our chain 3, we're just going to chain 1 because we're going to end with 1 row of single crochets. All right, so let's go ahead and finish this row stitching 1 double crochet in each double crochet around, and then we'll do that single crochet row. I completed row 15, 1 double crochet in each double crochet around. I joined to the top of my chain 3, and I'm just going to chain 1. This last row on this portion for step 3 is we're just going to stitch a single crochet in each of the double crochets around. And this is where you need to make sure that you didn't accidentally add or subtract any stitches, and make sure you only have 60 single crochets on this row. Because when we do the bottom of our coffee cup, we're going to be matching up the bottom circle to this row when we stitch it together in step 4. So just to repeat, we need to only have 60 single crochets for this row. And if you'll notice, I'm also stitching them just a little bit snugger or tighter than I have been previously for these other rows. This is just going to help it come in just a little bit and fit nicely around that circle. 1 single crochet in each double crochet around. We'll join and tie off because we'll be finished with step number 3. I stitched that row of single crochet all the way around. I'm going to join to the first single crochet with a slip stitch. Cut my yarn and tie off. And then I'll just pull that to the inside. Now, if you accidentally added a stitch, which sometimes happens at the join, or maybe you accidentally subtracted a stitch, you can always do a decrease stitch on this row by doing the single crochet decrease stitch if you need to. It's very important that this last row have exactly 60 stitches, because when we go to put the bottom on, we're going to need those 60 stitches. So this is how our coffee cup pillow should look at this point after step 3. There's our coffee, and then here's the cup. And I like the way mine's striped out. It's looking really pretty. One thing to remember is that when you're going to the blog, I'm adding new pictures and of course the pattern every day of our crochet along. And it's very important to remember to refresh that page. Google and other search engines sometimes will bring up the previous page, and those updates and pictures won't be there. So make sure, click that link down in the notes for the blog and then hit refresh the page so you can get all the updated information. I'll see you tomorrow for step number 4.